Blog Talk Radio.
A sunset, like any great melting, heats a vibrant fire that blends wounded parts together in a magic show that transforms, reminds you of a past where the sunrise woke your senses with rays and flares. You realize in between is a powerful social theater production that sent you through a powerful roller coaster journey, packed with friends, family, and strangers not so strange anymore. There, knowing, soon comes the answers from above, an open sky of wisdom of those who came before, those that cheered you on from the future, a moon that lights your eyes, knowing a rock is near by keeping you company. Then a falling star, a dream worth claiming, appreciating and making your own. Like anything, it's gone that fast, but you know you got it, and the celebration just might be a slumber away. Maybe, just maybe, the people dancing in your mind aren't that far away.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Speaking Poorly radio show. I'm your host, Anthony Potter. Today we were supposed to be talking with Kathy Anderson about community building. As a guest, she is working with the grassroots movement and building tiny homes for our friends on the street and how lives are changing. Recently, we were told by her that she's been dealing with a lot of stuff and would have to reconnect. So we'll go ahead and get her on a later date. As always, I want to remind people that we're brought to you by homelessnewsnow.com. Homeless News Now can be found also on Facebook and Twitter. We want to give a shout out to the Activist Alliance. We want to give a shout out to La Andita Mexican Restaurant, providing healthy Mexican and indigenous food to all those who are hungry, offering a community space for social activity and speech, as well as providing a meal within your budget. Open for over 30 years as a local family-owned restaurant. We'd also like to give a shout-out to Unholy Tattoo, another local family business, open 24 hours, bringing you tattoos and piercings at your budget. A shout-out to Annette, Desiree, Myra, and Sparky. And, of course, a special one to Nick over there. Nick took the time to knit some caps for the homeless this past winter as part of UpSafe Winter Tucson that they were involved with as a way of doing community building. I want to give a shout out to Homeless Ecoville, Brian King, and Oscar Journey, and Minister Martha Funk, and everyone else over there occupying the space outside of Charleston, South Carolina State House. Was helping out with Homeless News Now. Brian King has been with us since the beginning. Homeless Ecoville was started as a grassroots program to provide tiny homes and agricultural sustainable community to the homeless. You can check them out at homelessecoville.com. We also want to give out a shout out to all of our friends with the Community Dinner Project in Sacramento, offering a potluck to all those interested and hungry, and occupying the sidewalks outside of City Hall there, where the mayor has made it a point to arrest people for standing up for the right to rest, saying that homelessness shouldn't be a crime. We should be able to grow our own food. We should be able to use a restroom. We should be able to camp. And a few other things that fall into the basic needs of any person trying to exist. As earlier this week, the Gospel Rescue Mission in Tucson, Arizona burned down. One of the guys that I know, well, they ended up detaining for it. At the time they arrested him, they said they hadn't even figured out whether it was on accident or on purpose. They said that he had prior interactions with the Gospel Rescue Mission that were unresolved, using that as reason to detain and charge him. This is a guy who's normally fun-loving and positive. He normally Spanges, not too far from that area, and is SMI, and so he's been on the streets for over 9 years. He's registered with every social agency out there. And so you can just figure out where that goes. And so we just wanted to give a shout out to all of those people that are affected by that. The community, it wasn't the actual shelter, but the donation center nearby that provides clothing and goods to the community, whether you're on the streets or not. So there's a lot of people that can't get clothes and can't get stuff for their new apartment because of that. But there's insurance to protect that nonprofit, so they're actually doing pretty good. It's just the people that they serve that are being affected. Let's go ahead and see if we have any updates. It's also, I want to let everybody know about some of our upcoming things, and why not give a shout out to our friend Freddie Ferrari, who's Iraqi vet who's been fighting leukemia and going through chemo treatments, and so we've been working with him, and he provides a lot of hope and lots of different and positive vibes out, and so we want to give out a shout out to Freddie. His leukemia came through being part of a burn unit in Iraq. He was part of a burn crew who burnt a lot of the trash for corporate entities that were there as civilian and consultants. And so there's a big thing going on with that, but definitely something people want to look into about things that are out there. Look up what the effects are of being part of a burn unit, and you'll learn a lot of stuff that we're not helping with. And so we're also looking to bring you a story about out of California, where there's a mass corporate buyout in real estate that's going to cause hundreds of people on Section 8 to become homeless. So we're going to keep working on that story and get it to you as soon as possible. I see that Kyle Caitlin will be having his executive clemency hearing on June 14th. Kyle Caitlin is a Iraqi war veteran. He was the vice president of AZ for Normal, a local 501c3 fighting for the education and reform of marijuana laws, as he was a caregiver in the state of Arizona, licensed by the state, in which they then turned around and charged him for running an illegal operation that they had permitted him to do. He now he's now been doing time in the state prison system, so we definitely want to keep up on that. Next Saturday on my other radio show, we'll be talking with his family as part of the Haze Effect radio show, bringing light to the families and experiences of 1,700 people a day in this country being arrested for cannabis. 1,700 a day. That is a huge number. If you want to talk about vets, 22 a day committing suicide. One is too many. 22, that is not an accident. 1,700 people a day being arrested for cannabis, not an accident. Again, one is too many. This is also the whole thing about living on the streets and the criminalization of living on the streets. These are all areas where we do policing for profit, where the government has a contract with 6 corporations to profit $20 billion a year for the next 20 years by bringing some of these disenfranchised populations through this prison system. And part of the forcing of that is taking away benefits so that you're put in a desperation to do something that's not in your best